Now then, we are here for the Brazilian Grand Prix here today in F1 My Team, and this one is a crucial race because as it stands we have to win the remaining 4 races to have any chance at the championship. Now if you haven't seen the last episode, then go check it out. I believe the Japanese Grand Prix, I'll leave it linked up in the top right. Go check it out because that race kind of sets up the rest of the season and we have a massive task on our hand if we want to retain the number 1 on our car. Now recently we just hit 75k subs, so I want to give you guys a massive shout out and a big thank you for the support, and the road to 100k begins now. Hopefully we can achieve that in 2022, so thank you very much. This weekend though, as we look at the progression chart, you can see we are solid midfield right now. Worth noting, Red Bull have brought an upgrade and they've actually overtaken Mercedes as the best team, so Red Bull had something up their sleeve. For now though, we're going to jump into qualifying and into Q1. So rain forecast this weekend for the qualifying and the race. We're looking at mixed conditions for the race especially. We're actually looking at the exact same weather forecast that we got in the last race at Japan, so we'll see how that pans out. For now though, it's currently Q1 and we only have 3 minutes to go. Now the session started off in the full wet. I saw it was going to dry up, so I actually sat in the garage and waited, and I went straight onto the inters and we basically got to work trying to set some laps and get on the pace. Our first lap gives us P2. So far only Lando and Latifi have set representative lap times on the intermediate. On our second lap though, straight away you can see here we're 3 tenths up, nearly 4 tenths up, and now 4.5 tenths up by the end of the lap. So this lap is much more on the pace, and the track is constantly improving by the way, so we're going to have to be on the track at the last minute in qualifying to make sure we set a lap. Now after this one I actually decided to back off and go for a bit of a recharge lap, because also I wanted to let some of the traffic go by. You can see here we're going to be mixing up with some traffic on track, so I'm just going to let them go and find a bit of space on track. Eventually I've got a gap and we got underway on a lap, and you can see here we were only about half a tenth up, but then suddenly through this middle sector we started to find loads of time. Bit of a lock up though into the right hairpin, so we lose about 1.5 tenths, but still 2 tenths to the good, making our way towards the final right hand hairpin before we exit sector 2 and make our way into sector 3. You can see here nearly 4 tenths up now as we're starting to really find time. The track is improving, everybody going faster here as we go purple in sector 2. Through the final corner, a little bit wide, they didn't quite get the apex, but we do get some decent drive and find a little bit of time on the exit. And now Verstappen goes P1 as we run up to the line. Let's see what this is. Our last lap in Q1, currently P8. This is going to improve into the 111s, and is it going to be enough to get to Q2? The answer is yes it is, as we finish in P5. Half a second off Lando, but crucially less than a tenth off Max Verstappen pretty much. Also Michael Schumacher through in P13, so for the second time in a row, which is great, and very happy about that. Q2 now though, you can see here we've joined the action on a set of soft tyres. Now similar to Q1, I could see the weather was going to dry out, so I didn't go out in the inters. I waited because the race is going to have some rain in it, so I want to kind of save some inters if I can. And we're going to basically go for 2 warm-up laps. I'm going to basically give myself the best possible track conditions at the last or the latest point in the session. So you can see here we're just literally going for a second warm-up lap as the AI now take to the track. The plan here is to be at the back of the train and be the last car to cross the line, which is exactly what we managed to achieve. Making our way, checkered flag has now dropped through the middle sector. You can see the times are going to start tumbling as everybody sets their best lap on the softs. And to be fair, our delta is kind of irrelevant, so no idea what to aim for. So all we can do really is push absolutely flat out, and that's what we're doing right now. Making our way out of the middle sector, down through the left-hander, now into the final corner, braking. Little tap of the inside curve here to get some rotation. Currently we're a second up on Giovinazzi in P12, so that's looking pretty good. Onto the pit straight, wait for the DRS, and now run it as close to the line as possible. And let's see what the lap is going to give us. It's a 1:04 in the middle, 1:04.5 I think. And is it going to be enough? Yes it is, as we finish in P7. So there we go, we actually got through by about a tenth and a bit actually. Also Michael Schumacher unfortunately out in P15. So yeah, a decent qualifying. It's Q3 for us actually, which is great, and it's good to be back. And speaking of which, we're going to jump into that session right now. So first lap was my best one, so let's go on board for a full lap of the circuit and let's see what we can do. So fully dry conditions, braking at about 30 meters, down to third gear, fourth on a short shift, and then fifth on a short shift again. I didn't quite attack turn 2 there. as much as I would have liked. We keep the tight line through 3 as we conclude the first sector. Down to turn 4, brake at the 50, down to 5th gear, try to take a bit more inside curb than I did. Didn't really attack it enough, but still making our way up the hill into the double right-hander now of, I believe, 6 and 7. Important here to run it a bit tighter than I did, use all the curb on the exit to open up the right hairpin, and then really important to be all over this left curb, which I don't quite do. And so far, it's been a bit of a scruffy lap, not really challenging the limits of the track or the aggression. This hairpin though, really good, great traction on the exit, and then flat out through the downhill left-hander. Brake at about 70 meters, 4th gear, clip of the inside curb, and then short shift to clean up the traction. As you can see, my tyres overheating through the final corner. Now DRS, run it on the tightest possible line as we come to the start finish, and it's going to be a 1 minute 3.8 as we stay P10 and last, which is a little bit disappointing. We tried again at the end of the session. I knew there was more time in it. You can see here we make a mistake. Unfortunately, at turn 4, I didn't get the inside curb. I tried to pull it back, but we ran wide and invalidated. And it's a shame because you can see here, look at the delta as we're 2.5 tenths up here. We were absolutely flying, and there was loads of time in the lap. Unfortunately, we just weren't able to deliver it, and yeah, unfortunately it's going to be it for qualifying. So P10 for us. Then there was one big mistake which would have happened, because I wanted to finish the lap anyway, just to see what would have been the case. Either way, pace wise, I think even this last lap was quite scruffy, but I do think there was a good 3.5, maybe 4 tenths in it at best. I reckon 4 tenths. I think we could have got a high 4. Even then, a high 4 would have only got us maybe at best with a challenge Ricciardo. So yeah, even though we had a messy Q3, the pace wasn't fully there. We seem to be faster in the wet conditions. So yeah, that could be a good thing for the race, because I was actually running 103 in qualifying, which is the highest I've run pretty much all season. Yeah, the pace is good. In the dry, not so much, but still a messy Q3 and 1.1 seconds off the pole sitter, Max Verstappen. So there's a lot. We're now going to move into the race.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Sainz, Pierre Gasly, and Tsunoda, Ocon, Ricciardo, Giovinazzi, and Martinez, Russell, Norris, Sebastian Vettel, and Michael Schumacher, Eilert, Matsushita, Lance Stroll, and Christian Lundgaard, Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Mazepin, and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Now then, for this race, we start from P10. Admittedly, it's an improvement, better than what we have done, but at the same time, not ideal. I think there was a bit more pace in it in Q3. Having said that, anything else than P9 I think would have been quite tough to achieve. Nonetheless though, the race is going to be interesting because we have the exact same weather forecast as the last race in Japan. Now, what's going to happen? Is fate going to repeat itself? Are we going to have the same or similar scenario? Every single weather forecast icon besides the first one is exactly the same. So now this race, unlike Japan, we are forced to start on the soft tyre. We'll see how it goes, but I am planning to go aggressive and I am going to try and stop. I'm going to give it a few laps to see how the weather progresses, but my plan is to be aggressive and probably stop again for another set of softs and really push every single lap flat out. Fuel-wise, I'm going to go 1.5 negative. I'm planning on the rain arriving, so we are going to gamble on that front. So let's see what happens. It should be a fun race, similar to Japan, and we're going to give it everything we've got to try and win this. So let's get into it and let's see what happens. Right, let's do this. Hopefully, a good start, first and foremost. 5 lights are on. And we're underway. It is a good start. We'll take that. Russell's going to make the move around the outside as we go into turn 1. Nowhere to go for us. Warning for a collision with Russell as we manage to cut underneath. And we're going to make the move around the outside of Russell and Ricciardo. Double check for damage.
No issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
Can't do much about this as Russell sends one up the inside of Ocon there into turn 4. We'll try and maybe go for a move here as Ocon all over the back of his teammate. We're going to hold Ricardo back, so we're still P10. Into the hairpin, though, we're going to send it on Ocon and go for this move. Lovely. That's some move done there, and we can maybe send it on Russell here as well. Around the outside, possibly. No. Cut back. Oh, we're getting close, really close. Up the inside we go on Russell into the final corner. Lovely move. Good aggression. Up into the top 8 now. Giovinazzi next. He's had a pretty good start actually from P9, to be fair. We'll take that. Very, very good start. Exactly what we needed. Now we're going to try and settle into a bit of a race pace. And we're going to see how the weather progresses. But for now, let's set our sights on the Italian ahead of us. Well, my tyres are getting hot. I've gambled on the pressures.
We're expecting rain in around 10 to 15 minutes.
And there is the first warning for the rain. As I was saying, I've gambled on the pressures, and I think it's going to hurt us a little bit, especially on the front right. But still, we'll keep pushing. Race is going well right now. Pace is decent. Oh, Russell's showing some serious pace here. Absolutely flying. Don't really have a response. I've got DRS, but the Alpine just seems to be working pretty well here. He's having a look up the inside. I try to defend it a little bit, but he's going to commit. We're going to keep the door closed and crucially still hold on to DRS from Giovinazzi. The front right is just constantly overheating at the minute, so I can't do much about that. I might box really early and may switch to a medium to see if I can get better temps and therefore better performance.
5 minutes until rainfall expected. 5 minutes until rain. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Okay. Literally no updates regarding the weather. Just happened to ask for a random update, and it's 5 minutes away. So I was planning on pitting a bit earlier, but we'll stay out for now because things might change.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Copy.
I mean, we're not exactly going to oblige. The clouds are starting to form, so it seems like that weather forecast prediction was accurate. Pace is good now. I'm actually starting to close in on Giovinazzi and slightly drop Russell. It seems like the AI is struggling to maintain the pace they've been running at for so long. I'm extra close to Giovinazzi here. The issue is my front right is just so hot through this corner.
Expecting some rain soon. Expect the first drops in the next few minutes.
I just can't get the final corner perfect. I struggle on the rears a little bit, but also the front right. I can't get the rotation that I need to straighten up the car early, which is a bit of a shame. Now the AI may pit as late as lap 16 here, so we are going to have to make some overtakes, you know, especially before the rain arrives ideally. So I need to try and force something here, see if I can push on a bit and make something happen. Oh, and I think it's raining. I think I just saw a droplet. Yes, it is. It's raining. Well, this is it then. Let's see how this all pans out. There's not going to be any pit stops for any more dry tyres. It's going to be about holding on now until the intermediates. I feel confident if it rains. My pace in qualifying in the wet was great, so that could really be a benefit for us in this race. In the meantime, I'm trying to have a look at Giovinazzi here, but I just can't get this damn exit. It's so difficult. We'll keep trying though. Let's see how long it takes for the rain to make its presence felt. Oh, hang on. Come on, give me that exit. Look at the AI just accelerate, the horsepower. How does Giovinazzi pull away so much? He's got the exact same engine as me. I don't get it. We're closing in though. Just wasn't close enough for the lunge into turn 1 there. But we are getting closer gradually. We just lose enough under acceleration that I can't challenge, which is really frustrating. You can see here we're really close to Giovinazzi. Just not able to make a move as we push him through there. Surely this has got to be the one. Come on. So close through this section. Oh my god, I had to commit to that big time. Struggling with the rear there. We almost lost it, but finally we get past. Oh, Tsunoda pits. Okay, that's a positive sign. So maybe we might see more AI bots on this next lap or so. The rain is definitely coming down quicker than Japan. Starting to have a lot of issues on the rear as we struggle to find rear traction. I think this could be the lap actually. Let me see what my split time is in sector 2. 3 seconds off. Okay, maybe one more lap, but it's not far.
Be careful, we think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
The rear grip is very low, you know. I'm going to gamble. I'm going to go.
Right, come in at the end of this lap.
I'm going to send it and see what happens. Too many snaps of rear oversteer, man. I wasn't feeling it. I think the weather's changing quickly enough that I think it's worth it. Let's see. Hopefully we don't get caught out like in Japan. Here we go.
Complete, go now.
Race stop, 2 seconds flat. Lovely stuff.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Right, back up to speed then. Let's see how these inters work. Can we switch them on fast enough for racing cars, including Sonoda, who did just pit, of course, but he's gone for another set of dries. Oh yeah, it's definitely time, I think, for the inters. The AI making mistakes. It's pretty much bang on the crossover. I think that's fair to say. If we get lucky and we get the top runners to do one more lap, that would be like Christmas. But yeah, it's literally right on the crossover in terms of grip. So we just got to be a little bit careful tackling these cars. You can see we don't quite have the grip yet. And having said that, it looks like everyone's pitting over. Verstappen's in. We're losing time here, stuck in traffic, which is far from ideal. Having a look around the outside of Ricardo. It's not going to work though. It's been a disappointing outlap, just not been able to make use of these tyres. But let's push on. There's going to be cars who have to stay out because they're stacking behind the teammate. DRS is still on and enabled, so maybe some cars are pitting for dries. You never know. We'll see now. Now I'm seeing inters everywhere. Never mind. Everyone's going for the inters, so let's take full advantage. We're going to have DRS on Latifi here as we've got cars leaving the pit, so we are racing.
Michael is coming in for his stop.
Look at this. We are ahead of Verstappen. Oh my god, Verstappen got held. Whoa, up the inside of Latifi. Sorry, mate. I've had to barge through there. I wasn't planning on that, but he caught me out. Here's Giovinazzi and Gasly. So Verstappen has lost the lead, and he's lost loads more. He was behind Gasly.
DRS has been disabled by the stewards. DRS will be offline.
We're going to have to repass Giovinazzi due to the time we lost in traffic on the outlap. So I don't think we timed the pit stop, great. I think we could have just stayed up one more lap. Either way, it would have been a 50-50 coin toss. But crucially, we're ahead of Verstappen, and that is music to my ears. That is exactly what we need. Obviously, we still need to get Lando Norris as well, who is, I believe, behind us.
The forecast suggests this rain is going to keep getting stronger for at least the next 15 minutes.
So Max and Lando behind. We're outscoring the championship leaders. That is as best as it gets. So we've got to do now is try and finish as high as possible. We should jump up to the top 5 here if we pass Ocon and Sainz, who are leaving the pit exit right now. I think Sainz will stay ahead, but we'll get Ocon. But let's see, man. Let's see what kind of pace we have. Hopefully we can try and push onto that podium. Now the cogs are turning in my brain right now, but the pace isn't great. We're all pretty similar, to be honest with you. Only on this lap have I started to make a bit of inroad on the Sainz because it's finally fully intermediate conditions. Max is catching us though by a few tenths a lap. Now, I think the play in this race is going to be trying to go to the end on these tyres. I'm expecting the AI to maybe pit for another set of inters. That's what I think could happen. So that would be our golden ticket to win this race. Either way, we'll see what happens. The rain is expected to stop in the next 10 minutes apparently, so we should be going for a phase of heavy rain at any moment now, so that's going to be our opportunity to make some progress. Right, this is it. This is our opportunity. The rain is starting to fall now, quite heavily, and as a result, the tyres are able to cool, so the front and right is actually not overheating all the time, so now I'm starting to fly, and the pace is starting to show. We're starting to gobble up Sainz by a couple of tenths a lap now, as we've got a yellow flag in the first sector.
Coping okay in this weather? We're watching the amount of standing water on the road. For now, we think it's safe to stay with the Inter.
Yeah, we're going to stick with it. Jeff has Mick Schumacher for tyres. I don't really want a safety car at this stage or a VSC, and that's exactly what we're going to get. Right, let's have a look then at putting some pressure on Sainz because the pace is there now. These are crucial laps in this race before it starts to dry up again and we potentially go back to overheating. This is our phase to try and deliver a heavy blow in the championship.
We're expecting you in around 2 laps and we'll be putting you on the intermediate tyres.
Oh no, Jeff, we are not pitting, mate. We're going to the end. Oh,
okay, watch your pace.
crap.
We've been informed that the safety car is out. There appears to have been an issue with multiple stopped vehicles on the track.
The only phase of the race where I'm not overheating and I'm actually showing my true pace, and we can get a safety car, and that's because of Mazepin.
A new strategy is available on the MFD.
Mazepin Bertardi pulled off the track.
Okay, copy that.
Well, I don't think we're going to pit. We're going to stay out.
Michael is in the pits. Michael in the pits.
We may still get that golden opportunity if the AI ahead of us use the safety car to pit. We could potentially jump all of them and take the lead, and the tyres aren't that bad, so we could still get that. And the answer is yes. Everyone's pitting for another set of inters, so that should give us the race lead. Ferrari are even going to stack their cars, which is interesting. Well, there we go. Look at this. Race lead for us. Everybody's in. And we're going to be P1 in this race. Verstappen's pitting as well. He may lose even more time, having to wait for Perez's pit stop to finish. So, Christmas has come early. Unlike Japan, this time we've got it right. We've done the right decision, the right call.
Okay, the safety car is coming in this lap. We'll be pacing the field in Sector 3. Make sure to respect the delta until the safety car is in the pit lane.
Well, there's the message. Safety car in this lap. So we're just going to hold up the pack here and wait. Now we're going to floor it. Burning up the rears. There we go. Back underway.
Green flag.
Now everybody behind us on brand new inters. We have slightly worn inters, but I think we're still going to be okay. It's all about just regrouping and finding that pace. The heavier the rain, the more it suits me. The more I'm in my element. So hopefully more rain arrives. The AI are going to be flat out max power for the first 2 laps, so we're going to have to be aware of that as Leclerc tries to put some pressure on early on, but we should be okay. I don't feel too threatened. We're going to be okay. We're pulling away here. Captain Leclerc 8/10, and in theory now the AI will stop running full power as much. We're also dropping Perez and Gasly and Giovinazzi, so it's going well so far.
We're still happy that we're on the right tyres at the moment.
Yeah, the rain's starting to really come down now. Quite heavily. I don't think we're going to switch to full wets just because of the amount of laps that are left, but it would be pretty much full wets now. We are flying right now, pulling away from pretty much the rest of the pack. I did manage to get the gap to Leclerc up to a second, but he's kind of got caught back up a little bit, but still, he can't hang on. I'm pulling away too much. Our pace is very strong. Hopefully the weather continues this way. If it does, it's going to benefit us until the very end. There we go, we've finally broken the defence. Leclerc cannot keep up. 1.2 seconds, 2 laps to go. Let's bring this one home. Well, here we go then. Last lap of the race into the final sector. What a performance. Absolutely 10 out of 10. Perfect all the way around. Perfect strategy. And after 36 laps, we're going to win Interlagos. Long overdue. A well-deserved win. I do wonder, the most recent DNF, has it cost us the title either way?
They said to bring it, and it has been brought!
Fantastic. You've won the Grand Prix.
A great race then, very much as we've come to expect, and a fantastic win here at Interlagos. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, keeping their tyre temperatures up in the tricky wet conditions was really important. There's not much grip out there at the best of times, and it's 10 times worse if you're out there on cold tyres. So the way they kept the rubber in its proper operating window was a huge advantage today.
A show-stopping performance from the 3 drivers approaching the podium right now. It's been an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure.
As we get a massive 25 points here in Interlagos. Leclerc P2, Perez P3 with the fastest lap. Gasly P4 ahead of Giovinazzi, Sainz and Verstappen P7. Ocon, Russell, Matsushita round out the top 10 with Vettel missing out on the points along with Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Michael Schumacher, Lando, Norris, P15, Latifi, Stroll, Bottas, Eilert, Lundgaard, and then Mazepin and Schumacher out the race. Now, in the standings, we are mathematically no longer in contention for the Drivers' Championship. It's a bit of a sour one, bit of a shame, but that's the reality. 75 points remain on the table, and we are 78 behind. So we can no longer win the championship. We can no longer defend our crown. We will lose the number 1 next season. Verstappen takes the lead, 6 points clear of Lando Norris. We can still fight for P3, especially P4, but definitely P3 as well. That's still on the table as we jump into the top 6, overtaking Bottas. In the Constructors, with that win, no change to the position, but it looks like we may have just locked down P5 and given ourselves a bit of breathing room. There's still a chance maybe we could catch Ferrari. They're still within reach, but we need to, win a few more of these races. And to be fair, I think Jeddah is going to be a race that I want to win because I'm really fast around there. Besides that, Australia is going to be a bit of damage limitation, and Abu Dhabi, to be fair, it could come down to strategy. If we get it right, we could do a good race there as well. So I think out of the remaining races, Australia is the only one that worries me a little bit. Still though, a good day at the office and good points brought home. Now, before we jump into a personnel department event back in the office, we do have activities to apply. Now, we can't get all of these on, but we'll try and do the ones that bring us, let's say, resource points. First of all though, we're going to go for team building to improve the morale. We'll go for a power equipment upgrade, and then we'll also go for simulator training. We'll just throw on driver promotion filming as well. So that's that done. Now, we do have a turbo size upgrade on the 12th. That is from Ferrari. That is an engine power upgrade. So that is a supplier one. Very excited about that. In terms of what we have left on the chassis, all we have left now is the brake upgrades. If I can avoid making those, happy days. On the powertrain, I think we've done everything except for the 2 supplier upgrades. So we've essentially maxed out the car. So we're just going to keep stacking up these R&D points and see what happens. Either way, we've achieved our target. The car is back where it was, and that's the best we can do. So let's have a look at this department event. Gym incident. Michael was unfortunately involved in an incident at our gym. They are unharmed, but it wouldn't look good if we didn't investigate to ensure health and safety standards are adhered to. But closing the gym will affect the driver's fitness program. What should we do? If we investigate, the focus goes down. If we continue, the focus goes up. So it's quite clear that we're going to have to go for that, because I don't think we are actually allowed to investigate. So continue it is. Well, job done then. The next race is going to be Melbourne, Australia. Very excited about that one. It might be a bit painful, but still, we'll see what happens. Before we leave, I'm going to quickly go over the engine upgrade we just received. Confirmation there of the turbo size, which I believe is engine power. So that's going to give us a bit of a boost. We're still the 5th best team. We do take a very small step forward into the next weekend, but not enough to usurp McLaren or Ferrari. So yeah, there's your lot, guys. Overall, a great day, a great race. It's good to get a win after such a rocky season, and yeah, we'll try and end the last few races on a high and see what we can do and try to score as many points as possible. If you enjoyed the episode, leave a like, subscribe for more, as always, for daily F1 content on my channel. And yeah, we've just hit 75k, guys, so I'm really happy about that. Can't thank you all enough. I really appreciate the support. As always, a big shout out to the channel members as well. You guys are absolute legends. And as always, finally check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them. But that is it from me here today, and I'll see all of you in the next one.